I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on exactly because I'm shook. I'm also JAA, host of the 10 Piece Podcast. Welcome to another video installment. But bitch, what the fuck is going on in the NBA right now? I was chilling, minding mine own black ass business, trying to relax after a 4th of July celebration. Went out of town, saw family, ate good. It was fun shit for the whole gang, right? Then I come back to find that Kawhi Leonard has signed to the Clippers. But not only that, this braided up bitch took Paul George from the Thunder to the Clippers with him. And now apparently the Thunder are shopping Russell Westbrook around. And then DeMarcus Cousins signed with the Lakers and Danny Green. Let's take a moment to just kind of process everything. Because this is a lot. This is a lot. It could be too much, but not really. Because what it really did was restored balance in the NBA. Because now a lot of teams are now at least 2 team superstars deep versus having one or 4 or 3. But some teams do still have 3. But regardless, it did bring a lot of balance back to the NBA. But I just want to talk about. There's so many things I want to touch on. First of all, let's give Jerry West his motherfucking flowers. Just because this man brought Shaq to the Lakers in the 90s. He brought KD to the Warriors, and now he's bringing Kawhi and Paul George to the Clippers. And the Clippers only had to give up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari. So you mean to tell me they get to keep Lou Williams, they re-signed Patrick Beverley, and they get to keep Montrezl Harrell as well, who were integral parts of their bench last season. Jerry West is not only the logo, Jerry West is that motherfucker. I feel like Jerry West could walk up to your mama in the grocery store and say, bitch, strip. And her panties will be on the ground before the P in strip comes out of his mouth. Like, Jerry West I want to work for him. Like, I want to learn from him. I want him to tutor me so that way I can also learn how to be a bad bitch like him. Because I want to be like Jerry West, where anything I want, it happens. All I gotta do is just talk you into it. Now, of course, he was an athlete and he had lots of money. I'm neither of those. But regardless, you can learn a thing or two. I want to. Everybody should aspire to be like Jerry fucking West. Unless some dirt comes out about him later after he passes away, which I hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, so that aside, this now brings a lot of balance into the NBA. For example, someone actually listed off oh, well, now most teams are 2-star teams. So let's take a look, shall we? So now the Nets have Kyrie and KD. The Celtics have Kemba. The person made the list and put Kemba and Tatum. Tatum regressed last year, in my opinion, and he didn't make the All-Star team. So next. The Nuggets have Murray and Jokic. Sure, I guess. Golden State still has Steph and Clay. The Rockets have Harden and CP3 still, for now. The Clippers now have Kawhi and Paul George. The Lakers have LeBron and Anthony Davis. The Bucks have Giannis and Chris Middleton. 76ers have Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris. They also added Al Horford, who is also an All-Star. Don't ever fucking forget that. Portland has CJ and Dame now. Well, they've had CJ and Dame for the past 3-4 years. Spurs have DeRozan and Aldridge. Raptors have Siakam and Siakam didn't make a All-Star team. Anyway, and then the Jazz have Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and they just added Mike Conley Jr., who has not been an All-Star, but that's constantly been like a snub for the All-Star team. Even when the Grizzlies weren't tanking and they were winning. So, regardless, this is going to make this upcoming season a lot more fun. Also, the Lakers did add DeMarcus Cousins, so that's going to be interesting as fuck. Not really sure how it's going to go lineup-wise because they did just re-sign JaVale McGee. So what they're probably going to end up doing is having JaVale come off the bench and have DeMarcus as a starter. and Rondo re-signed also. So we're probably looking at a starting five of Rondo, Danny Green. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, that's fucked up. So that means Kuz is gonna come off the bench again. Like, I was looking for Kuz to become a starter this year and then end up on the All-Star team. Just because, like, you kept him instead of putting him in the package for Anthony Davis. So that obviously means that there's some value. He brings some sort of value in your opinion. Otherwise, you could just ship them off, right? So, because I doubt the Pelicans were like, no, that's just too much. We don't want to deplete your roster for Anthony Davis. So you guys can keep Kyle Kuzma, and we'll just take Zoe and Hart and Ingram. We're going to do you guys a little favor, okay? No. That's not all what fucking happened. The Lakers were like, we want to hold on to Kuzma. So clearly he has some sort of value to you. Now, I'm sure you're looking to develop him for, like, the future, which is what you guys are basically building for after LeBron retires. But I definitely was looking at the idea of Kuzma being a starter. So now with this addition of DeMarcus Cousins, he probably will come off the bench again. So you're looking at Rondo, Danny Green, LeBron, AD, and Boogie as your starting five. Not a bad lineup to put out there on the floor every night. Well, it won't be every night because, injuries, load management, some sort of route that someone has put on somebody in LA. But that means off the bench, you are going to have Kyle Kuzma and JaVale McGee. So that's going to be interesting for the Lakers. We'll see how that turns out. But, I mean, when you really think about it, that was the domino that started all this shit. AD to the Lakers. And then it just kind of put everything else in a tizzy. I want to see what else was there. What else was there to talk about? Zion got hurt in a summer league game. They basically sat him down for the whole summer league. Wait a minute, big fella. Yeah, no, it was knee-to-knee contact. I think it was in the first half. It was the Pelicans versus the Knicks in the summer league. Everybody was hyping it up because it was R.J. Barrett versus Zion, and then Zion left after he basically was out there playing bully ball with them. It kind of seemed for a bit like he just yanked the ball away from Kevin Knox. Like, just give me this. Took the ball from Knox and then dunked it and then flexed on him. So, I mean, he was out there pretty much bullying him in a sense. And then he, got hurt and he had to leave. So, they're like, listen, this isn't even the preseason, bitch. This is summer league, okay? This is something that's just kind of, I mean, it helps with development, but for the most part, it's just kind of helped, keep the fans kind of not going crazy before because, I mean, let's see, once summer league ends, then you got like August, September, and then training camp start? No, training camp usually starts like the end of September because the season starts at the end of October, typically, like around Halloween. So there's going to be a period of time where there's not going to be any NBA news, nothing to watch except NBA TV and highlights, open court, that shit, which I'm absolutely fine with. But I miss watching real games already. Like, it's kind of sad, actually. I'm a little obsessed. So again, with this whole Paul George to the Clippers thing, that's going to be super impactful just because of the fact that you've got three primary defenders, and they're top tier defenders at their positions. So even if their shots are not falling, it's not going to matter because offense is not their primary weapon. It's defense. So even if Kawhi goes out there and shoots 2 for 10 and Paul George shoots fucking 3 for 13 and Patrick Beverley shoots 1 for 9, guess what? They're also going to stop you from shooting well because defense is their bread and butter. It's where they made their bones in the NBA. So they're always going to be able to defend well even if their shots aren't falling. They're going to start holding teams to an average of 50 points. They're going to have a record of fucking 81-1 because nobody's going to be able to score shit on them. It's going to be bad. It's going to be fun, but it's also going to be bad because, like, Paul George and Kawhi are top 5 defenders, and Patrick Beverley is easily within the top 10. And if you look at defense for the point guard position, he's probably number 1. Sorry, not sorry. So that's going to be super interesting to watch. What else happened that was like sort of big? I'm trying to think. Doing this off memory is horrible, especially when you had like a bunch of Coors Light the night before. Don't judge me. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about was just the fact that like a bunch of shit happened out of nowhere. Because okay, the Kawhi to the Clippers thing, that was kind of a foregone conclusion. Like if you think back throughout the entire regular season, that's all you kept hearing was Kawhi probably going to go to the Clippers. He's a California native. He wanted to go there from jump, but then he got traded to the Raptors. So now that he's got his options, he's looking at the Clippers for the most part. Then once the season played out, everybody saw everything went. Then it went from, oh, well, maybe Kawhi to the Lakers. Actually, that was the main thing for a while was what everyone was saying, right? Once AD gave up that $4 million in his trade bonus and they had the money to sign under the max player, everybody was like, oh, well, Kawhi's definitely going to the Lakers. And apparently, he kept switching up his meeting locations with the Lakers because he was also meeting with Paul George to get him to the Clippers in that same day. So Kawhi's out here moving like a drug dealer, and I respect it. And I'll probably never say anything bad about him again because I want to die in my sleep. So there's that. Um, but regardless, the way the season played out, everybody thought, well, maybe he'll resign with the Raptors. He went there, he won. They're offering him free food, places to live, as if he's not a millionaire who can afford those things already. Sorry. So everyone was kind of unsure of what he was going to do, but this move to the Clippers definitely, like when it happened, it kind of caught everybody off guard. But if you think about it, we all kind of saw this coming all along. But it was just, the talks and, oh, well, sources say and per sources. And I know Jimbo back in, Cagawada County who, told me that he saw Kawhi's fucking uncle in the gas station buying, oat milk, which clearly means he was going to the Lakers. Like, what? No. So this does put a lot of different things into perspective, though. Also, poor Russ. I feel for him. Let's be real. The Thunder have done an amazing job at drafting. They draft well, they develop their talent well, but they just don't know how to hang on to it or how to, I don't want to say mold it because a lot of players, you can't really control or contain them. Like, you just can't. And Russ is definitely one of those players where you can't control him. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who the GM is. I don't care what's going on. You're not going to be able to control Russell Westbrook. So his play style is not conducive to winning. So with that being the case, now they're looking at shopping him around. OKC just looking to blow shit up. This was a team who, mind you, has not been to the finals since 2012 when they had, James Harden, Russ, KD, and Ibaka. And they go to the finals, they lose to the Heat, and then they sent James Harden off. They were like, we can't pay Harden and Ibaka, so we're going to keep Ibaka. We saw that turned out, although he got a ring before Harden and Russ. But still, then KD left after they blew a 3-1 lead in the conference finals, and now Paul George is gone. Which honestly leads me to believe that Paul George doing this quickly after only, 2 seasons in OKC, after he just re-signed there when he was a free agent just last summer. So this shows me that he felt like re-signing was a mistake from the jump. Because you think about it, all they've had is first-round exits for the past 3 seasons? And Paul George only been there for 2. And 2 of those seasons, it's been a first-round exit. Like a bad one. Where he's out there putting up 28 and 7 and nothing's happening. My thing is, if Russell Westbrook had more of like a playmaker play style, no, let me stop you there because he averages double-digit assists. Yeah, but he does it in kind of like a selfish way, where when he makes a pass to get the assist, not to actually facilitate and have ball movement and actually get his other teammates involved. And with his kind of athleticism, if he primarily focused on being a playmaker, that would force the defense to not be able to collapse on him because they would have to stay on their men. They would have to stay at home. You wouldn't be able to fucking double team because Russ is looking for that window to pass the ball. So if he's not, that leaves him to go one-on-one with his defender, and he can usually beat his man off the fucking dribble because he's so quick and he's so athletic. But when your shot selection is that poor, it gives the defense a chance to load up on you, and it makes it much more difficult to where you have to pass out. That's the thing. I feel like Russ passes it out because he has to, not because he wants to. And the rebounds, that's just Pat statting. Because there's no, I mean, as athletic as he is, there's no fucking way. There's just no fucking way. So I feel like if he switched up his play style, but at this point, Russell Westbrook knows who he is as a person, he knows who he is as a player, he knows his own play style, so he's not going to change it up. So if they're going to blow it up, I say do it. Ship him to Minnesota. It'll put some butts and some seats up there, and then y'all can send Cat and Wiggins down to OKC where they can play around there like they've been playing around in Minnesota because neither of them takes the game seriously and actually wants to win. So there you go. Everybody gets what they want, except for OKC, who might not even deserve it. So I thought that was interesting because now him and Russ and his manager or his agent rather are talking to Sam Presti and the OKC Thunder about a trade, and I'm hearing that Miami is very interested in Russell Westbrook. We'll see how that goes. Did Miami just lose? I saw on Whiteside. So, bitch, Jimmy Butler and Russell Westbrook on the same team? No, ma'am. No, the fuck, ma'am. No, no, no. Would not work. Those two would be slapboxing. I want to say, I'll give it midway through the third quarter of like the last game before the All-Star break. If they're not resting because of load management. That's what's going to happen. So I don't think that needs to go down, but it would be an interesting dynamic to see. But so yeah, that's about it for this week. Just wanted to touch on those topics. A lot of shit going on. There may be a while before you see me again because there's not really any other big name free agents left out there. I mean, I'll still discuss some little moves that could have some big impacts because there are still trades to be made and some shit could still go down. So until next week, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter, JAA27. Just got suspended, but I'm back. Follow me on Instagram. I haven't been suspended from there yet, but give me time. That one is JA squared 827. Follow me on Twitch, 10 Piece Podcast, SoundCloud, 10 Piece Podcast. All that will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm going to end the show on this note. I still don't understand how Mark Jackson does not have a head coaching job in the NBA, nor an interview, nor any interest from any teams as a head coach, when there are several teams who could actually use a solid veteran coach who knows how to develop talent. Just putting that out there. Make it make fucking sense. Until next time, be good or be good at it. Peace.